Hey there, it's Missy Zarbach, your friendly neighborhood metaphysical practitioner and life coach. I'm here for Free Advice Friday. Yay, we're going to do it again. So, I was going to do something else, and then I had an emotional emergency call from one of my clients, and so I decided to talk about this instead. When you think you suck. You suck. Do you suck? I don't suck. Okay, check it. So I made a couple of notes because I didn't really have time to prepare for this, so please forgive me for reading my notes as I'm going through this video. But what are some things to do when you're looking around and you're like, man, I suck. Like, everybody else around me is doing okay in my life, but it's me who's making everybody else miserable. What's going on with that? What is that about? One, I want to say kudos to you for self-awareness, because it takes a grown-ass woman to be like, whoa, pump the brakes. This is me. Slow clap, right? Good for you, mama. Good for you. Number one, are you out of shape? When is the last time you were sweating on purpose? When's the last time you lifted something heavy? When is the last time you went for a run? When's the last time you were in a ballet class? When's the last time you went to Zumba? What's your thing, and when's the last time you did it? Do it again. Like 4 times in a row. Okay, so your mind is not going to be right if your body is not right. And so I'm not talking about what you look like. Like, I'm not talking about being bikini ready, because that's crap anyway. But what I'm talking about, for real, is getting the glandular system moving in your body properly, getting the lymph moving in your body properly, getting your blood pumping, getting your endorphins releasing, allowing these glands to do what they were designed to do, which is to make you feel like a superhero. Because when you work out, you feel like a superhero. There's a reason that they call it a runner's high, because it feels awesome, okay? So another thing that she mentioned was that she'd been telling a lot of little white lies, okay? Little white lies are not because you're a liar. Little white lies are because your brain is trying to find the easiest path. And so I told a little white lie recently, and I felt like crap about it. So what happens in a little white lie? Your friend says, "Are you mad at me?" And I'm like, "No, I'm not mad." Because I don't want to deal with the problem, right? I don't want to deal with it. And so for me, the problem wasn't big enough. It wasn't an actual offense. And so I'm really, really great about not being offended by stuff. But by society standards, I could have been mad about that. I'm choosing not to be mad about it. It's whatever. But I still wasn't extremely authentic about that. I could have been like, you know what? Other people might be mad about what happened. I'm choosing not to be mad about it, but I'd still like to bring some attention to this. And that would have been more in line with who I actually am. That sounds like something that I would say. But for the normal person who is not a master of the self, how do you deal with that? Like, what is that? That doesn't make you, little white lies do not make you a bad person. They make you a lazy person. And so, and myself included, I'm throwing myself under the bus too. If you're telling a little white lie like, "Oh, I'm in traffic, I can't take the call right now," when you're really sitting in your living room watching Netflix, like, that's just lazy. You're not a bad person. You're just a lazy person. And so once you begin to tell the truth to yourself about yourself, you're able to fandangle through those things a little bit more easily. And so instead of saying, "Oh, I'm in traffic right now," just be like, "Listen, I'm not ready to talk about this right now, but when I am ready to talk about it, I will call you as soon as I can." And what that does is it doesn't negate the other person from what's going on. It doesn't negate you from what's going on. And you know this is to be addressed. TBA, to be addressed. Not in this moment. You don't have to take care of everything as it's facing you. Some things, absolutely. Some things, not so much. If it falls like between a 1 and a 10 and it's a 5, and you really don't feel like doing it, don't do it. It's your life. Do what feels good. If it doesn't feel good, set it for a time when you're feeling awesome and you're ready to tackle it, as long as you're not a procrastinator. If you're a procrastinator, there's a whole different set of rules, okay? So get a mentor. I don't care if it's your boss. I don't care if it's your mom. I don't care if it's me and you hire a life coach or any other life coach. I don't care if it's, I don't care who it is. Get a mentor. You have to have somebody who has done what you want to do. And if you want to be really, really happy and you don't want to be miserable and you don't want to be the bad guy in the story of your life, you got to find somebody who is not the bad guy in the story of their life. And you have to do something called mirroring. And so if you want to make grandma's awesome chocolate cake, you don't call Aunt Susie for grandma's recipe. You call grandma. And you don't deviate from the recipe. And so if her recipe calls for a cup of applesauce and you've never seen that before and you're like, I'm not putting applesauce in cake. That's crazy. I've never heard of putting applesauce in cake before. But it's grandma's cake. And if you want grandma's cake, you best be putting some applesauce in that recipe, right? Because you're going to get the same result that grandma got. And so what you can do with a mentor is ask them their formula for success, because anybody who's going to put themselves in a position of success very well knows how they got there. Successful people are not on accident. So you might have somebody who's won the lottery and that's a fluke and that's whatever. But I'm talking about people who have worked for their success. You go find those people and you ask them what they did and you do what they did, as long as it's in alignment with your heart, right? And you are going to get a similar result. Now, another thing is that we go through like layers of an onion, just like Shrek, right? And so you're going to get to a point where you're unearthing, if you're doing self-development work, you're going to get to a point where you're unearthing some yucky stuff about yourself. This is wonderful. This is not a failure, not even in the slightest, okay? Self-awareness is the key to self-enrichment, self-growth, ascension, right? You can't let go and get up if you're not letting go, if you don't know what to let go of. And so I know that I was in a cycle in my relationships, some time ago where I was like, man, I would just, you know what? I'd rather just be single, than to deal with relationship stuff. But I actually do want to be in a relationship. I love being in a relationship. I have an incredible partner. Why don't I want to be in a relationship with this person? Because I'm being lazy. What? I don't want to deal with the problems. I'd rather just live on an island by myself and never talk to anybody ever again, And so I had to have like a truth tree time with myself, like, listen, if you're invested in what's happening in your life right now, you need to be invested in what's happening in your life right now and cut the crap, cut the BS. Stop running away when things get hard. And so that's when I really began to face that, demon in my life. And now I don't have to deal with it at all. That's not even an issue anymore after I told myself the truth about it. And I stopped being a victim of what was happening and decided to be a queen and be magnificent and walk my talk. It's harder than it looks sometimes, right? Okay, so next, if you cannot find a mentor anywhere, get the book. Buy the book. So, and this is, this works with YouTube as well. And so I call YouTube University because you can learn anything you want, and it's magnificent. There are books on everything that you want to accomplish. If you haven't found the book that you want to read yet, I think that you're an author and you probably need to write that book. But I digress. So YouTube University and buying the book. If you cannot find a mentor that has done what you want to do, that person has probably written a book, and you can probably get it on Amazon for less than $20, and it can probably be at your house in 3 days. And you can read this book, and you can make this book your Bible, and you can live, breathe, eat, sleep, whatever it is that you want to accomplish, and I promise you, my mouth to God's ears, you will accomplish what you need to accomplish without having a physical mentor there. Aside from that, there is a wonderful invention called a mastermind group. You can Google that. They're in your area. There are all kinds of people accomplishing all kinds of things in a tribe, which is necessary. You have to have people around you. You have to have support. If all else fails, do it by yourself. Like, get it done. Don't make an excuse about it. But it's easier to do with a tribe. There are no self-made millionaires. There are only, tribe-made millionaires, right? Okay. Next is journal your progress. And so if you're regressing, you're going to want to journal that too. If you really feel like you are the reason that everything is bad, I want you to write it down. And I want you to look up something called EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. You can find this for free on YouTube. It is priceless. It's for free, thanks to the universe, but this is priceless. And so this is metaphysical stuff. It is a technique where you're tapping on different meridian points on the body, just like when you go to acupuncturists and they stick little needles in your body. But what you're doing is deeply releasing past trauma Or you can hire a hypnotherapist. Hi, I'm your hypnotherapist. And we can go in and remove that stuff in a different way. But EFT is a great way to remove those little nagging, critical comments that we all have. Like, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not educated enough, I'm not fit enough, or enough. Blech, gross. Get rid of that. It's not necessary. Next, friendship upgrades. And so if you are surrounded by people who are also miserable, you might just be surrounded by assholes. You might just have to upgrade your friendships. This is something I'm absolutely known for. Regular people don't like it, but I'm not really a regular person, and so I don't let it affect me so much. But what happens is that you look around and you see that the people that you love, people that you care about, are not interested in accomplishing anything in their lives, and they are very, very happy with the status quo, and they don't want to rock the boat, and they're not standing up for things they believe in, and they're not activists in any way, shape, or form. They're not contributing either financially or physically to a cause that they care about. These are things that are important in my friendships. I eliminate friendships, and so I do something that is like it's a probationary period. Like, I interview friends like I would employees. I want to know what kind of books you're reading. I want to know what's going on in your life. I want to know who you are as a person. And so I have a tribe of friends. I don't get to see them very often because we're all extremely busy people. But when I do get together with these people, they're my people. Like, they're definitely my people. And these are the people that I would call if I won the lottery, because they would have won the lottery with me. You get what I'm saying? Okay. And so these people are kind, and they're generous, and they're loving, and they support you no matter what is going on, you know? But they all have goals, and they're all meeting and exceeding their goals. And so I want you to look around and see if you're not just kind of surrounded by a bad group, you know? Filter them out, get a different group. It's actually quite that simple. If you want to know more about that, I'm probably going to make another video about diversifying that friendship portfolio. So, in conclusion, it might be you, and there are ways to get through it, and it's okay, but kudos for self-awareness, and kudos for putting the people around you in such high esteem that you would want to contribute in a positive way. Okay, once again, I'm Missy Zarbach. You can email me at themagnificentwoman@gmail.com, or you can hit me up on Facebook. It was good to talk to you. Happy Friday, folks. Bye.